Josh don't like you.
Apparently Josh doesn't miss me. What?
Now he's got to kiss you.
Alright. Streaming live to both.
Okay.
Hello everyone and welcome to Awesome Hardware. This is a live show, recorded live. We have no excuse for anything we say. We do it every Tuesday evening at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We stream the show in two halves. This is the second half of episode number 61. So we're on 61-B. If you missed the first half and you're watching this on YouTube in the future, you can catch the beginning of this excellent show over on Kyle's channel, which is Awesome Sauce Network. It should be linked in the video description down below.
Also a good way to find out why I'm drinking water.
Yeah, that is. Often on the show we enjoy a tasty beverage, perhaps a beer, alcoholic in nature. Of course, we also recommend everyone drink responsibly. For instance, I have not had anything to drink since last week's show.
Really?
Aren't you proud of me? Really, that is absolutely true.
That's pretty impressive.
Can't say the same for yourself, can you, Kyle?
No, I cannot.
You degenerate bastard.
Says the guy chugging a giant mug of beer.
Exactly.
To the guy drinking Kirkland water.
Anyway, I am drinking right now this
That's tap water.
Chimay, right? I believe that's correct.
Chimay.
The Grand Reserve Ale.
Chimay.
The blue label. It's quite delicious.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Kyle's drinking water.
Yeah.
He's on a juice cleanse.
Not my decision. Not my call. I'm
He's
just taking orders.
he's pushing all responsibility for that onto his
I
wife.
feel like the Nazi youth.
What?
I've just been ordered to do something horrible,
What?
and I don't agree with it.
I feel like you're more up in arms about this now than you were earlier today or at the beginning of the show.
It's just now coming out.
Before it
I
was
was
like,
suppressing
well,
some
you know, my
feelings.
wife, she wanted to do this, and now I'm doing it too, and it kind of sucks. And now you're like, fuck this.
It's because I'm getting hungry, and I
That-
know that that makes a big difference.
And you know you have nothing
And
to
I
look
know
forward
I'm
to.
not-
Nothing to look forward to.
Nothing.
What are you going to even eat for dinner tonight?
I'm not gonna eat anything. I'm gonna drink my dinner through a fucking straw,
That's awful.
like a sickly patient waiting to
I
die.
feel like you're being tortured.
I am being tortured. It's horrible. It's fine when I drink it because then I'm kind of full, but I'm not fully satisfied. There's a difference between being full and satisfied. And you get right now I have 0 out of 2.
It's a pretty significant difference too.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of being fully satisfied,
Yes, I'm salty.
buy stuff from our stores. All right.
Speaking of salty, I can't even put salt in my shit.
Kyle can't even have salt.
Can't even
He's
put salt on
he's
the
on a
vegetables.
salt-free diet right now.
Horrible.
AwesomeSauceNetwork.com/store is Kyle's store. Wow, I didn't mean to do that. Anyway,
Crash.
Kyle has wonderful merchandise, including his new BIOS Flasher shirt.
It's a shirt.
It is a shirt. It will clothe your body.
Yes, it will.
Anyway, buy all that stuff over on Kyle's store. Or buy stuff on my store, paulshardware.net or store.paulshardware.net. I also have shirts. I have my fantabulous Zero Insertion Force shirt. Look at it. Look at it.
Love it.
Look how wonderful it is.
It's beautiful.
I'm just excited. I'm just excited because I'm wearing it. Look at that. Actually wearing the shirt.
I like how colorful it is.
It is kind of colorful. It's kind of fun. I hope you guys like this shirt. I enjoy it a lot.
It's a fun one.
I'm going to try to get Scott Wasson to wear it to AMD headquarters. I think that'll be awesome. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, buy stuff. It's a great way to support our show, support us, get yourself merchandise.
Do it.
And
You'll get a nice loud Johnson shout out at the end of the show if you do.
Yes, we already checked
As
some
always.
Johnsons on Kyle's half of the show, and we will endeavor to do the same towards the end of the show. So if you buy a shirt or whatever during the show, we'll shout your name at
Johnson! I want to do a pre-show Johnson.
Pre-show
right now.
Johnson.
To Russell, who just purchased a shirt.
Sweet mother of
Just
God.
caught the tail end of the last episode, the last half. Thank you for picking up a BIOS Flasher shirt,
It's beautiful.
Russell. Appreciate that.
It's gorgeous.
Brah. Does that sound
Brah.
natural? Brah.
Hey, brah.
Thanks,
We
brah.
were trying to say bra effectively on Kyle's half. All right, let us continue with the tech news. The news about technology and some of the big news from today, most of which was saved for my half of the show, involves this right here. AMD's just finally launched the Radeon Pro Duo. We have discussed this card at length and ad nauseum. We have talked about it being like, it's coming soon. It's on the horizon. We have some new leak specifications. Now it's actually
Here it
frickin'
is.
launched.
Yeah.
None of you should buy it.
And now we have nothing to say.
No, it sucks.
No good things about it.
It sucks, and none of you should buy it. No, that's not entirely true.
No.
Real quick, Max, thank you so much for your donation, and we will definitely form a Get Kyle Some Meat fund.
Yeah. Glad we don't have a meat cam on today's show. That would kill me.
Oh wow.
That would destroy me.
I was actually on the verge. I potentially was going to do one of those.
So glad you didn't.
Yeah. Anyway, here's the Radeon Pro Duo. It looks like people thought it would look. Wow, look at all these pictures they have.
Looks like a Fury X.
Yeah, it looks
bigger.
like a Fury X. Has a dual pump integrated system for getting the heat off of the GPUs. You know.
Hopefully no Ace Tech lawsuit to follow.
Yeah. The card itself has 2 GPUs on it. This is weird how they're displaying these. Anyway, there's a shot of the board itself. Yeah, here's.
It's like Darth Vader has just entered the room.
If you guys think you hear Darth Vader, it's because Hero is snoring behind us. That's okay though. Anyway, weird thing about this card, right, is just that there's not a whole lot of actual legit upfront full reviews by the major tech review sites where you would normally expect to go and find information about this type of card. Yeah. Several review sites have said they will have more information later this week, but apparently this card wasn't sampled extensively to a lot of people. There's reasons for that. The reasons, if you ask AMD, are mainly that this is not necessarily a gaming GPU. No. Oh no. This is a GPU aimed at VR development, right?
Development?
Yes, development of VR. I realized just now I'm looking at your notes.
I'm a development D.
I'm looking at your notes from your half of the show. This is useless. really incredibly useless. I was like, why is this not? Yes, anyway. Yeah, they're targeting this for VR developers. Okay. Is what they're saying. One of the things they say that they can do with this is a dual GPU card, which has potential for the future for like DirectX 12 and VR, which we've already discussed quite extensively, is, for instance, allocating one GPU of the 2 to each eye, since what's being rendered for each eye is slightly different. Okay. That's a possibility. They're also launching 2 different driver sets for this card, which is kind of interesting, but also goes along with the... this is not necessarily a gaming graphics card idea. They're launching both Fire Pro and Radeon drivers. So depending on what driver you use is going to change the card's performance depending on what you're doing. So you should use the Radeon drivers if you want to use the card to play video games. Right. You should use the Fire Pro drivers if you're using the card for
workstation
stuff.
But it's interesting why they wouldn't target it to gamers, because it seems like it would be a good gaming card too.
I think, if you want my honest opinion, it's because, first of all, the launch is coming too late. This card was talked about last year. They were originally going to launch it in Q4, and then it was in December, and then it was pushed to this year, and then it was like Q1 this year, and now it's April. It's the end of April. Yeah. It is well into Q2 at this point, which is delayed significantly from what they first talked about. We're also on the horizon of seeing new GPUs from the Polaris line from AMD, as well as from the Pascal line from NVIDIA. Those draw away a lot of the thunder from a card like this. Yeah. AMD right now does most definitely have a claim to saying we have the fastest single graphics card you can buy. Yeah. With this card, it's faster than a 980 Ti. It's faster than an R9 295X2. But it's only in situations that take advantage of Crossfire. And it's also like, it's a niche card. It's also $1,500. That's pretty expensive. Yeah. Considering that this card's performance is going to be basically the same as taking 2 R9 Nanos, which cost $500 each. Right. So you can get 2 of those for $1,000, and you're going to get equivalent performance with this card. So because of all those things, positioning it as a workstation card or a card for VR developers means that they can charge $1,500 for it, because typically for workstation implementations, the cards just cost more. Yeah. That's why Quadro and Fire Pro cards cost $2,000 plus, whereas most GPUs that are made for gaming top out at 1,000.
Right.
Usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're still going to see some pretty sweet gaming builds though with this card, and I know like EK has already announced their water block for the Pro Duo.
That is true.
So
that was the wrong button.
I can definitely see this.
It's the wrong button.
You know.
Yes, EK has released a water block.
People ignoring the
and
targeting.
Yes, certainly you are correct. We will be seeing some cool builds with this card. The practicality, though, for people buying it straight up, is it's difficult to advocate for somebody buying this card for a gaming system when it costs as much as it does. Here are the specs for it if you guys want to take a closer look. So,
gotta be rich.
Again, if you look at a Fury X, which is the second column, compared to the Pro Duo in the first column, and you got basically double everything because it's 2 Fury X, it's 2 Fiji GPUs. The other limitation of this card is that you have effectively 4 gigs of memory. It is HBM2 memory, which has an insane amount of bandwidth and is definitely significantly faster than typical GDDR5 memory, but it's still 4 gigs of memory effectively.
Right.
Granted, there's stuff in the future like DirectX 12 that might allow for memory pooling and that kind of thing, but we can't really discuss that too much right now. So
yeah.
All of these things together make this card not as exciting, not as tantalizing for people as perhaps some of the dual GPU cards from AMD in the past. But it's there.
Yeah. If money falls out of your butt on the reg, then
perhaps
and you can benefit from some crossfire action, then maybe.
Perhaps you might be interested.
Murmur.
And hey, it is cool to see how tiny, relatively speaking, of course, they can get the PCB, considering that they have HBM memory.
Yeah.
And they don't have to allocate space on the board for the memory pads. They just have to these little
stack them.
These little rectangles next to each GPU is the memory. It's right there.
Yeah.
And they can also cool it along with the same cooling solution that they use for the GPU die, which is pretty cool. So
literally.
Don't want to be like all kinds of down about the Radeon Pro Duo, but for people who are looking forward to it, to like put in their next gaming system, there's some definite major caveats to it, and it's definitely not the price to performance monster that the R9 295 X2 has been in the past. Granted, seeing this card at a lower price, if this card was $1,000, I think the conversation about it would be completely different.
Yeah.
So who knows? Give it a month or two. Let them sell some of their current inventory to people buying it for actual VR purposes or game development purposes or whatever.
Right.
And maybe towards later this year we'll see the Radeon Pro Duo become price drops. Price drops would make it much more viable.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Sweet.
Yay for things.
Yep.
What's next?
Daily Mail.
Here's a story from the Daily Mail. This story is actually all over the webs. It's about Apple.
Oh yeah, I heard about this.
It's about Apple, so we'll push through this quickly. Apple is basically they're reporting their worst quarter in like 13 years or something like that. Worst quarter in 13 years, and they kind of saw this coming. They actually warned investors that they weren't making as much money, that the iPhones and the iPads were not selling quite as well. This story has some actual year-on-year comparisons right down here. So Q1 2015, Apple did 61.2 million in sales of iPhones versus 2016, down to 50.4.
Mm-hmm.
That's still a lot of money, but it's
Sure.
It's definitely down. iPads dropped percentage-wise at least. Is that more? I don't know if it's more. Anyway, iPads dropped as well. Overall profit dropped from 13.6 billion down to 11.1, and sales are down from 58 billion down to 50 to 53 billion. That's still a lot of sales, though, right?
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Sorry, I got distracted.
That's okay.
Because Fractal Josh was complaining that we haven't modded him yet.
He's always a distraction.
He's always a distraction. I just
consider-
modded him though. I don't know why. I already regret it. I sorely regret just modding him right now. I don't know why I did it. Someone called me a dick for not modding him, and I just, you know how I do. I succumb to peer pressure, and I just do things to please other people, and I had to mod him. I'm so sorry that I did that. I can unmod him.
What have you done?
I don't know.
Everyone in chat, run! Run for your lives!
Leave!
Josh has authority.
And
everyone's going to be banned. He's going to ban everyone. Okay.
Our view count went to 0.
Let me continue talking about Apple.
Yes, go ahead.
For reasons.
Sorry.
No, they're stupid.
He's very distracted.
Yeah, the investors were warned about this back in January. It's basically about a 10% drop since last year.
Yeah.
They're blaming certain things on it, such as slowing growth in China. Chinese economy is not doing so well in the past year or so.
Right.
That's been suggested as a core reason. Also, the saturated smartphone market, since smartphones are getting to that point where the newest smartphone doesn't necessarily do all that much more than the old smartphone did.
Yeah.
And there's already speculation about the iPhone 7 being, falling victim to that.
Right.
Just that the iPhone 7 doesn't necessarily have any of these, like, wow, this feature, it can do this thing now. What more can it do? What more can your phone do for you?
Well, the maps are 3D now.
It can already do so much.
Yeah.
We asked so much of them. Anyway, saturated smartphone market, and of course the iPad sales, which are also dropping, largely in part due to, at least according to the research, due to Apple's iPhones functioning so well, and people don't need an iPad as on top of their iPhone.
Right.
Maybe my mom will get rid of hers. I hate it.
And phone screens, even for the iPhone, have gotten bigger, so
that's true.
It's like even less of a gap between a tiny little smartphone and like a 7-inch tablet, for example.
It's very true.
Damn.
You're right. You're right, Kyle.
Sorry, Apple.
Excuse me.
Better like next quarter.
The U.S. has approved Charter's Time Warner Cable buyout. Right?
Yeah.
Are you excited about this?
Totally.
No, you're not.
I'm throwing a party next
week. It's stupid and terrible. All right, just to be clear here, this is the U.S. Justice Department. This happened on Monday. That's yesterday. They gave antitrust approval to Charter Communications Incorporated's proposed purchase of Time Warner Cable Incorporated and Bright House Networks. We've been kind of fearing this merger to some degree in the United States. A lot of people don't understand why it's happening. Why do these two massive companies need to merge? Money.
Profit.
They'll make more money.
Power.
Bitches. Yeah, all of those things. The money, the power, the women. If this goes through, because again, it's still just been approved by the U.S. Justice Department, it still needs to be approved by the FCC, it would create the second largest U.S. broadband provider and the third largest video provider in the United States. Who's the first?
U.S. broadband?
Yeah. This is, what
Verizon?
Is this? Charter and Time Warner. Who else is out there?
Is it Verizon?
Would it be Verizon? I don't know.
Comcast?
No, it's probably Comcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Comcast. Never mind. Yeah, because Comcast is what the next story is about. Okay. Most definitely Comcast, except I don't know that for absolute sure. But I'm pretty sure it's Comcast. Anyway. Yeah. Again, the FCC still needs to approve this. The U.S. Justice Department did not just say, okay, you guys can go ahead and do this and screw over the American public without at least providing some conditions. Okay. Conditions that must be met rigorously. I'm beating my fist on the table because you were yawning. I'm trying to wake you up.
No, I'm totally
No, you're awake.
I'm malnourished.
You're right.
I've had beer.
You have a good excuse.
I do.
Much better excuse than I do.
All I've had is water and vegetables and fruits.
Those don't provide sustenance.
I'm dying.
Okay. So die. Anyway, the U.S. Justice Department has conditions for this, though.
Okay.
Charter agreed to refrain from telling its content providers that they cannot also sell shows online.
That they can or can't?
Charter agreed to refrain from telling its content providers that they cannot also sell shows online.
Okay.
Now, forgive me for reading this to letter of what's being written, and this is a Reuters article, which I assume is pretty straightforward and everything. Charter agreed to refrain from telling its content providers that they cannot also sell shows online. So they're trying to prevent, anti-competitive actions by the ISPs. The ISP's anti-competitive actions are largely revolved around preventing competing services from providing, for instance, video service.
Mm-hmm.
So if they had to agree not to tell content providers that they can't also sell shows online, then that's like, oh, well, we're Charter. We work with, I don't know, ABC. They make shows. They have the ability to broadcast that show via the cable connection that we provide to customers,
Mm-hmm.
or they can provide it over abc.com.
Right.
Charter might discourage the content providers from doing that.
I see.
Because it's competition to their
own
their cable provider broadcast.
Right.
But I don't know, just the way this is, it doesn't seem very airtight to me. It doesn't seem very set in stone.
Like there's some loopholes with the word telling.
Right? Yeah, they're telling. All right, you guys can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
We can't say you guys can't do this anymore. We can still prevent them from doing it and charge them a bunch of fees for doing it. I don't know.
Right.
Again, I'm reading into this, but the way it's written doesn't seem
seems kind of loose, right?
Also, they listed U.S. Justice Department conditions, but the article only listed that one thing. So I don't know if conditions was supposed to be plural or not, but apparently that's the only condition that the U.S. Justice Department has required. The FCC, on the other hand, our man Tom Wheeler, who has been making some decisions that we have approved of, to our amazement. The FCC also has potential conditions because, again, the FCC has to approve this as well. So the FCC, for their part, has said that their conditions will include requiring Charter to extend high-speed internet access to another 2 million customers within 5 years, so basically expanding the infrastructure, and that 1 million of those must be already served by another broadband competitor. This seems like a little bit more set in stone as far as what they're being told to do.
Yeah.
And not just that they're going to say, all right, all these people who didn't have service before, now we've set up service for them, but that they need to set up competing service.
Right.
I think that's somewhat important because lack of competition in the internet service as well as cable service area is what the U.S. and other countries, of course, as well, has been lacking. Lack of competition. So, I don't know. That seems a little bit more
concrete, I guess.
Yeah, to me. Yeah, you're right. A secondary condition from the FCC is that Charter would not be permitted to charge usage-based prices or impose data caps, would be prohibited from charging interconnection fees, including to online video providers. So, pardon me, the interconnection fees is like the fees that they would be charging Netflix to provide the connection for their data to come to your house.
I see.
So, like, part of what they're doing is trying to charge their customers more money, or keep charging them the same amount of money. Part of what they're doing is trying to charge the content providers money. So that's why Netflix agreed to pay a bunch of money to keep their services in the clear.
Right.
Which some people disagreed with.
Yeah.
So according to the FCC's rules, if those do go through, they would not be permitted to do that. Usage-based prices or impose data caps.
Cool.
Which is good.
Yeah.
There's good requirements.
Yeah.
I am not necessarily one to say that means that this merger is good.
Right.
These conditions would be in place for 7 years. And according to the article, Charter was pleased with these outcomes, and shareholders have approved this deal. And I wrote in my notes, that makes me not trust it.
Because the shareholders approved it?
If the shareholders approved it and Charter is pleased,
well,
maybe there's something else going on here that, I don't know.
We kind of had to assume that the shareholders were going to approve it,
yeah,
though.
to some degree. So anyway,
doesn't make it any less sketchy.
A little bit more ISP stuff here in this second story. This is from The Verge. Comcast customers. So Comcast, who we're presuming is the largest, right? You got to.
I would.
If Time Warner merging with Charter is not bigger, then it's got to be Comcast, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry if we're wrong about that, but Comcast, for their part, knows that their customers hate data caps, and they do it anyway because making customers inconvenienced and causing them a pain in the ass is all part of their plan.
It's all intentional.
According to this article. Well, I mean, like, literally, that's what they say. That's what they did. Right, there's no more pictures here, so I'll leave it. Look at this Comcast.
They're using, like, an abused dog, like, kind of...
Look at those assholes in there deciding things about what we can do and can't do with our data. All right.
I hate them all.
So, apart from being just another reminder of why people hate their internet service providers, all right, so according to the FCC, consumer complaints skyrocketed in 2015, specifically with regards to data caps, as Comcast in particular has started ramping up data cap experiments across the country. So they're
Awesome.
testing, they're experimenting on you.
You're all guinea pigs.
With your data, and their caps on the data. Yes. Complaints rose from 863 in the first half of 2015 to 7,904 in the second half of 2015.
Holy shit.
That's a pretty significant increase.
That's insane.
And continued in 2016. There's 1,463 complaints so far as of mid-April. So less than, it seems like, the trend for 2015, but still a lot. What the article is pointing out here, and just something that you guys should be aware of, if you're not already aware of this, or even if you are, just to reiterate this over and over again, the ISPs who are providing you a data connection to the internet and who are also providing you with a cable connection for cable TV are in a really compromised situation. And it's not necessarily something that is good for consumers in the least. So what the ISPs are doing is they're implementing data caps. And what data caps primarily hurt when it comes to your standard people who are just using the internet the way that people typically do in 2016 is people who are streaming video. Streaming video services are a direct competitor to cable providers who are providing you with a cable service for video via a cable connection. If all of the content that I want to watch is available on the internet and I can cut my cable out completely and just pay for an internet connection, of course I'm going to be more likely to do that. But if my data is capped and after I hit a certain amount I got to pay more for it, or it slows down and I can't get the high quality stream or something like that, then that's direct. It's
not really fair competition at that point.
Yes. Data caps, and the way Comcast has implemented them, are a direct threat to streaming video providers like Netflix, who are direct competitors to broadband cable providers. It's just very direct.
That's exactly what they were talking about in that meeting there.
Yeah, so that's what the Comcast people are talking about. It's like,
how
can we keep fucking over the people who pay us money every month?
Oh, God.
Make them pay us more money. Make them continue to pay us money for things that they don't want anymore.
Right.
It's pretty messed up. Anyway. Okay, one last story here from the news segment. Millions have pirated Game of Thrones shortly after its release. This was the day before yesterday. There's Khaleesi there. She looks like she's in some trouble.
No, she's just kinky.
Daenerys Targaryen, first of her name. Queen
of
the Andals in the First Men. Does she get that?
Mother of Dragons.
Mother of Dragons? I don't know. Her name keeps getting longer. She said her name
because everywhere she goes, she becomes like the new queen of whatever.
And now she's got the marine stuff or whatever that she added on top of that.
Yeah.
But what was funny though? No, wait, I don't want to do any spoilers.
Oh my God! Could you imagine like a parody though, like where it's like a meet and greet, and she goes in, and she has to put the "Hello, my name is" badge on, and she's like writing with the Sharpie. And she's like,
it's like the tiniest lettering possible. just to get it down in there.
Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, Game of Thrones apparently has been pirated by millions already.
Not surprising. It was like the #1 pirated show for a long time, wasn't it?
Which is what the article leads with. Shouldn't come as a huge surprise to anyone.
Okay.
But more than 200,000 people were sharing copies of this episode through torrents around the web, and that is as of the writing of this article, which was last night at 8 p.m., which was 2 hours after the episode aired.
Right.
Australia is the biggest culprit. You Aussies with your disobeying the law, just living
you Australian pirates, you Aussie bitches.
What?
What do they call Aussies that they don't like being called?
I don't know. I don't know.
I got nothing.
I don't know any stereotypical Australian insults.
Where'd you get that kangaroo? I bet you stole it.
What?
I don't know where I'm going with this.
I don't
really
either.
have no idea where I'm going with this. I'm never trying an Australian accent again.
But Kyle's point remains valid that Australia is peopled with pirates, apparently.
Yeah. They're stealing things.
Yes. Following after Australia is India, the US, and the UK. Although they are noting that in the US at least, HBO was on a free weekend this past weekend. So
was it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you had a cable connection, you could watch Game of Thrones absolutely free, or you could be like one of these people who pirated it. I, for one, was not able to watch Game of Thrones via the free weekend. I have a cable card set up, and we've never been able to get HBO.
That's bullshit.
We have relied on HBO Go, which has been sufficient for our needs. Although right now, since we've just recently, Verizon Fios, who provides our internet, just sold all the Verizon Fios to Frontier. We've switched to Frontier.
Right.
And now I've had to spend hours on the phone with Frontier trying to solve various issues. And I'm really happy. Really happy that we went from just a perfectly viable, fine working internet connection and cable connection to me having to call someplace and spend hours on the phone. Okay, no, I don't want to spend too much time complaining about that on the show. Anyway, fuck Frontier.
Yep.
So far.
I'll be your hype man on that.
So far, they have not done too much to impress me. But yeah, when people are subscribed to a service and they can't access it, sometimes they might resort to
less conventional means.
Yes, Kyle. You have not been drinking, and you have access to your full vocabulary.
I keep forgetting that you have been drinking.
Keep doing this.
Like, Paul seems a little slower than he was an hour ago.
I'm trying to enunciate whenever possible.
So this is what it looks like on the other side.
Yeah. It's a little weird when...
I feel so hungry.
So lucid, and yet so hungry.
I hate it.
All right, let's move on to the next segment. The next segment is...
Yes? That's peculiar.
Well, that's peculiar. A collection of strange stories from around the internet. That's what this segment is supposed to be about.
I keep like looking over in my peripheral vision, like, what's flickering on your screen? It's me clicking in my Google Drive.
Oh yeah, and then
my Google Doc
makes things pop up.
The little cursor. It's me.
All right, so over in Chongqing.
Chongqing. No, it's Chongqing.
No, it's Chongqing.
Really?
Yes.
Is that a Q?
Yes.
Q's are pronounced like C's?
Q is pronounced like a CH.
Chongqing.
It's different though. There's a
the Queen of England.
There's the Chong. Ching is more like a ching. It's more of a nasal.
Ching.
I'm probably really wrong. If there's any of you guys watching this who speak Chinese, I apologize for being so wrong. Anyway, Chongqing.
Chongqing.
I'm just.
Good.
You're being okay.
No, that was the right. How you pronounce it?
China has developed a security robot. Look at it. Look at it. Fear its fearsomeness.
It looks like a bidet, or kind of like a.
I was thinking it looked like an R2D2 crossed with a suppository. That was my interpretation.
Or the robot from WALL-E.
Or the robot from WALL-E that was also thrown out there. Or a Dalek was also.
What's a Dalek? Again?
From Doctor Who.
Oh, I don't watch Doctor Who.
It just needs the little... Daleks have like the little round ball things going down the bottom of... Like the lower half has these kind of half...
Half balls?
Yeah, it's...
Semi-spheres?
Yes, like a half sphere,
right.
Semisphere.
Right.
I think that we just on the outside around the bottom.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, very very similar to a Dalek.
That's a security bot, though.
It is a security bot. This is Anbot. It has been developed by the National Defense University in China. It has both security capabilities and intelligence skills.
What does it secure? Your eggs?
No, it secures. It protects people from violence and ne'er-do-wells, or so we can assume.
Tell me it's got like a gun, like a gun pops out.
No, we'll get there. We will get to its crowd control capabilities.
Because it looks like it can't go more than 1 mile an hour.
But all right, Will, thank you for your donation. Whoa.
I had a feeling that was gonna happen. Whoever rang that doorbell almost owed me a new fucking laptop.
Actually, the camera moved, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it did. Holy shit. If that's Josh and Jay again, I'm gonna stab someone.
Sorry, guys. Kyle, can you entertain?
Yes, I'm gonna entertain for a moment while I just... Let me plug in my laptop, because the battery life is potato. Go ahead and check out who that is. Oh my god, I think I might know what it is.
Really?
Oh my god, if it's what I think it is... Josh, if you ordered a fucking pizza, I will fucking kill you. I'm going... Oh no. If it's a pizza, I'm gonna... I don't know what I'll do. I will cry, and then I'll come find you and kill you. Don't take it, Paul. Don't do it! No. No! Stay strong, Kyle. Stay strong. Where the hell is he? If he's not back in like 30 seconds, I might have to take a swig of that. Mother of God. Mother of God. This is so bad. This is so bad. This is so not right. What's happening right now? Josh, I'm gonna kill you. That's all I can really... That's all I'm thinking about right now. That and beer and pizza. Oh my God. I'm gonna lose it, man. I'm gonna lose it, guys. Okay. Staying strong. I'm staying strong. Let's talk about this robot. I need some distraction here. I'm not gonna look at chat because you're all... No, you're all... Damn it!
What?
Is it what I think it is?
What? It's Pizza Hut.
Oh my God, it's Pizza Hut! Oh my God!
Why?
You know why!
Because you can't help me.
Yes!
Yeah.
Did you know?
No, I had no idea. He's calling Josh right now to verify.
Oh my God. Nah, what? Send it away! The smell! I can smell it from here. Oh no. No, I can't. I hate you, Josh. You're a son of a bitch. I'm gonna beat you in the fucking head with a Fractal design case. Or just strangle your neck with a Kelvin cooler. I'm gonna chop your limbs off and stuff them in a Nano S. This is horrible. This is fucking terrible. Oh, mother of God. Paul, you don't bring that shit in here. You don't bring that shit in here. My glasses are all fogged up now. That's what happens when I'm frustrated. My God, you know what? This is bad. This is bad. This is really bad. Guys, don't ever do a juice cleanse. If your wife tells you to, tell her to fuck off. I'm just gonna fucking... Son of a bitch. Oh my God. Thank you, Will, for the donation. Yeah. Your donation, your first donation acknowledgement was interrupted by Josh, right? Yeah, because he's a fucking asshole. That's what Josh is. And he likes it, too. He likes that he's an asshole. He revels in it. Like a pig in mud. Bunch of asshole mud. Son of a bitch. This is all I really have. This is all I can do. No! Don't bring it... Oh, I hate you. Why are you bringing it here?
What?
Oh my God. No. I can't even... Seriously, dude, it's really tough. It's really hard. Oh my God!
Josh,
dude,
I tipped the guy $20 on Josh's card. so I have to make sure Josh gets his money worth. which includes your reaction right now.
Well,
Kyle.
I think my reaction's priceless. So
can't put it. I don't know what's in there.
I have a good feeling.
Oh God!
Oh my God! Are you kidding me?
I did not know they made a Pazuki type affair thing.
Oh, neither did I. What a perfect way to find out.
This is perfect.
Fucking opportunity.
Yeah, you get none of this in my way.
Oh my
Jesus!
Gentle Jesus!
What is that?
That looks.
It's like cheesy.
It's like cheesy gooey jizz.
Cheesy
That I
gooey.
just want to stuff in my mouth.
Juicy bread stuff. I feel so bad for you.
Dude.
I honestly feel terrible for you.
Dude, not cool, man.
Alright, one last reveal here. Just the pizza. Oh, look at that.
Ah!
Classic pepperoni.
Ah!
Josh, excellent choice. Oh my God. Look how perfect it is. Just sitting there.
Nope.
Waiting to be.
Nope.
Sorry, headphone users. Sorry. Alright.
Hello.
Kyle, I'll be right back.
Okay.
So I pulled up right as the guy was in front trying to deliver the pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have pizza now.
Okay.
Josh ordered it specifically because Kyle can do it now.
What one?
He's on his juice
Oh.
Totally my idea, right? Fantastic.
Is it cleansed? Is it all coming out?
Use cleanse.
It hasn't yet,
It's all
Okay.
but it will.
Alright. Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
probably even more so tonight.
Imminent.
Okay.
Oh God.
All right.
Okay. Well.
Briefly sidetracked there, but thank you, Josh, for your contribution, and thank you, Jordan, for your donation in support of Josh's contribution.
Oh my God.
Beautiful.
Jesus.
All right. What were we talking about? Chinese suppository robots.
The smell. The smell
It
has not
smells
left.
am-
It still
It
smells.
smells amazing. It's
So
not going to
good.
go anywhere.
It smells so
It's
good.
not going to go anywhere.
Oh God.
All right. I'm gonna keep talking about these suppository
just wrap
robots.
this.
The key technology that's making these suppository robots possible is low-cost autonomous navigation and intelligent video analysis. You can finally get those for very little money.
Cool.
They are 1.49 meters in height. They are 78 kilograms in weight, 0.8 meters in diameter, because girth is important.
Girth.
And
Yeah.
their maximum speed is 18 kilometers per hour, which, if I know my metric system, is faster than most people can run.
What was the measurement? One more
18
time.
kilometers per hour.
That sounds like a lot.
I think that's faster than people can run.
Yeah. Faster
Standard,
than I can run.
Standard patrol speed is 1 kilometer per hour. And it has sensors that mimic the human brain, eyes, and ears. It's capable of 8 hours of continuous work.
That's 11 miles per hour.
11 miles per hour.
Yeah.
I think the fastest people can run is like 15 to 20. So maybe that's running speed. I could totally be wrong, though.
I wouldn't know.
I feel like in the 15 mile per hour range is what people can run. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
It's like 10 miles.
Figure it out later.
Okay.
In answer to your question of what kind of weaponry, the weaponry that these suppository robots have, when the N-bot faces security threats, the robot's control personnel, so it is controlled by an actual person,
Yeah.
which to me kind of defeats the purpose of having an autonomous robot sentry. If you have to, why not just have the person walk around?
That's just a dude hiding behind a wall.
Yeah. Unless the dude can be controlling like 8 or 10 of these, then I guess maybe that makes more sense.
Army.
That's probably what it is. Anyway, so when the control personnel can remotely deploy N-bot's electrically charged riot control tool.
Okay, like a stun gun or something.
I was looking for video of this. I was looking for anything. I wanted to see something. All I could think of was like when R2-D2 has a little thing, is like zzz,
Like
zap
literally?
something, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's all I can think of.
Right.
But there's no video of it going on. But it has what is described as an electrically charged riot control tool. Which there's got to be just like a little stun gun thing
I would
popping up.
think.
Wow, somebody's already tweeting
Yeah.
you face palming
That's a great
at the pizza
screenshot,
picture.
by the way.
Anyway, within Anbot's patrol area, people can also call for help or press the SOS button on the robot's body. So there's a physical button.
Yeah.
So kind of like at a lot of colleges they have the,
the help call,
the little blue light things where you can run up and like hit a button to connect to security personnel. So
right.
I mean that's useful.
Yeah.
Someone's in a dire situation.
So
press the button.
Would it like literally? Could it chase someone down and like stun them? Is it that good?
I really wanted to find some video of this.
Right.
And either because it's newly launched or maybe it's just on Chinese video websites.
Right.
I wasn't able to find much. I wanted to show some more though, but I spent a good 60 seconds doing Google searches prior to the show.
Nothing.
And I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt that it does not exist on the internet.
But maybe that's by design. Maybe they don't want us to see how it actually does it.
True.
So we won't have like an edge on it when we decide to like steal a woman's purse or something.
That is true. Then the Anbots will have the upper hand.
Yes, they will. I feel like that's probably more effective in stealth mode too. Like some like burglar or like some like scumbag who's like, oh, I'm just gonna throw my trash away into this white trash can, and then just zaps him. Like, oh wait, is that it? What is that? The fuck is that?
I thought this picture... So this is another article on it.
It has a boner?
This picture is hilarious because this guy's holding this like lower torso.
It's a mannequin.
And there's a claw coming out of it grabbing the person's leg.
Oh, come on.
I don't know what's the deal is here. But
couldn't the guy just like literally take his leg out?
This is a terrible website.
It doesn't even look like it's that tight.
And then there's this video. This video, which is terrible. This isn't even a real video. It's just a video of somebody scrolling around a webpage. Who would watch that? Just people scrolling down.
That's so lame.
Page. Why?
Don't.
Okay.
It's not that bad.
Here's another video. The Discovery Labs demos Telebot prototype. This is different.
Telebot.
But look at that. Look at this police.
That one looks a little more human.
It looks more like RoboCop, at least. Wait, where'd it go? Look at it lifting its arm and gesturing to the camera.
Come with me.
Come with me if you want to leave. It has to have the Arnold voice, too.
Yeah, it does.
It would definitely need the Arnold voice.
You are under arrest for being too sexy.
I feel like you just kick him in the middle, though. Right in the middle seems like the weak point.
Yeah, it's not exactly like some Boston Dynamics balancing or anything like that. Is it a Rift?
This is probably. That's probably what they're using is the Rift. Anyway. All right. Moving on in this segment.
All right.
What is the segment?
Okay.
That's peculiar.
Yep.
Okay. Pacemakers and piracy. I'm going to run through a bunch of notes that I wrote for this story. This is one of those stories that I feel like was much deeper than the level that I was able to get into it with, so apologies, but at least I can give you sort of a high-level explanation of what the heck is going on here.
Okay.
All right, so pacemakers and piracy, right?
Yep.
You know what both of those are. Pacemaker,
Yeah,
just put it
for
in
your
there
heart.
to start your heartbeat if you have a problem or whatever. And the unintended consequences of the DMCA for medical implants.
What's DMCA again?
Digital Millennium Copyright Act.
Okay.
So the DMCA is what is invoked, for instance, when stuff gets taken down off of YouTube, and it's copywritten information in the digital age is what the DMCA was supposed to be able to do. Okay. But DMCA abuse has been rampant. So Section 1201 of the DMCA prohibits tampering with effective means of access control that restrict copywritten works.
Okay.
How does this affect pacemakers, you might ask? Well, give me a second. What the DMCA does is it provides digital protection and it prevents or outlaws the duplication of content. So whereas when you bought a CD 15 or 20 years ago, when you bought a CD that did not have any copy protection on it,
right.
A few years later, the DMCA had passed, and so you bought a DVD that has digital protection built into it.
Sure.
Granted, the DVD digital protection was cracked very early on, and it's very easy to circumvent. But from the law's perspective, the DVDs you buy are copy protected, so it's much more difficult to take them, make a copy of it, display it somewhere else. And the fact that it has active copy prevention built into it is significant, because that means that the origin, or whoever created that content, or whoever created the means of distribution of that content, actively attempted to protect it.
Right.
Actively attempting to protect it is important under the DMCA, because it means you wanted to protect your copywritten works or whatever. This has allowed large content holders to sue and threaten security researchers who have disclosed flaws in systems with digital locks. They argue that sharing research that requires circumvention violated the DMCA. So if I have, let's say I created a new type of DVD. There's DVDs, there's Blu-rays, they have copy prevention integrated into them. Yep. If I created some new medium, and I was like, all right, here's this new means of buying this video or whatever. I'm going to sell it to people. What I could do, if you came to me as an independent gray hat hacker or something like that, and you're like, hey, I found this flaw in your security, I could effectively use the DMCA to prevent you from disseminating that flaw, or to basically to shut your mouth, to not share that information with other people. As a result of all this, more and more devices have started to contain digital locks on them. So we've gone from stuff like DVDs and Blu-rays to phones that only run software from the manufacturer's app store, cars that can only be diagnosed and repaired by authorized service centers that use the manufacturer's official high-priced replacement parts, that kind of thing.
Right.
And this has even branched into the area of medical devices, specifically pacemakers. So when it comes to medical devices, not just pacemakers, they can use this technology to force doctors' offices to pay recurring license fees for the diagnostic software that works with the device that they're using.
Okay.
They can even restrict access to service and even consumables. So if you consider something that gives you an automatic shot of insulin or something like that, insulin's pretty standardized, right? There's not too much you can do to change what it is. But you could still use this law in order to prevent, you have your brand of insulin, and then you have the generic brand of insulin. Well, we can only use this specific brand of insulin because it's what's approved.
Right.
And often when those restrictions are put in place, it leads to much higher pricing for the stuff that is restricted.
Right.
Okay. So if all of this has made sense to you so far, consider if you have a pacemaker actually embedded in your chest.
Yeah.
Consider if that pacemaker, which many of the more recent models have, has Wi-Fi capability. Because if your pacemaker needs a firmware update, it's a heck of a lot easier to connect via Wi-Fi than to open up your chest cavity, plug in a USB to update that pacemaker.
Sure.
But because of the abuse of the DMCA, there's a much lower likelihood that potential security flaws with the firmware, the software that your pacemaker uses, to even be addressed because of past instances of companies aggressively going after individuals who are finding flaws in the security.
Yeah. Damn.
Anyway, so all this is to say, and this article is from the EFF, which is the Electronic Frontier Foundation, defending your rights in the digital world. The EFF has asked the FDA to require manufacturers to promise never to use the DMCA to attack security research as a condition of certifying their devices.
Okay.
That's pretty much all I have to say on this. Because again, it was a denser article, and I realized as I was writing notes for it, I was like, this is going to be later in the show, and we're going to have had drinks, or at least me.
Or have been
I'll be drunk, and Kyle
completely
will
sideblinded by the prospect of pizza.
Yes,
which I'm still...
Or dwelling on the pizza thing or something like that.
It's...
This was actually used, this theory was used in a TV show recently. One of those TV shows about terrorists and stuff like that. Dick Cheney, also referenced in this article. Dick Cheney, for instance, specifically has the Wi-Fi in his pacemaker turned off.
Because of this reason?
Because he's Dick Cheney,
And he doesn't need it.
No, and if you're Dick Cheney and you have the enemies that Dick Cheney probably has, you don't want to leave any openings, right, to your
Right.
enemies.
That makes
There's a TV show that's referenced in this article that was actually pretty interesting. I mean, it was a theoretical situation, but in the TV show, I don't know where it went. Anyway, in the TV show, there was a terrorist organization that was basically trying to get the serial number of the vice president's pacemaker. And once they had that, they were able to use that information to hack into the pacemaker and basically artificially increase his heartbeat and cause him to have a heart attack. Which, again, is just a TV show.
Yeah. But
not necessarily completely outside the realm of reality.
that's crazy.
Okay, continuing along in That's Peculiar.
Make sure, Paul, if I ever need a pacemaker one day, that you just kill me.
That's...
Just do me that.
Hopefully
do me
it
that
won't come to
honor.
All right. Neil deGrasse Tyson has said that it's very likely that the universe is just a simulation.
What?
Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's a respected astrophysicist.
I know who Neil deGrasse Tyson is.
Yes.
What do you mean a simulation?
A simulation.
It's like The Sims?
Just a simulation.
The
This
Sims
is the
4.
2016 Isaac Asimov debate. The Isaac Asimov Memorial Debate, which was held at New York's Hayden Planetarium.
Are those two people blind?
I have to assume that they are, but I don't know for sure.
They're both wearing glasses.
Anyway, this is a 2-hour video, which is linked in the description. If you guys want to watch the whole thing. I have not watched the whole thing. I kind of want to now, though.
Yeah.
Theoretical physicists getting together and talking about theoretical physicist-y type stuff. Sorry, there's a bug. Such as, is the universe a simulation? So here's a couple quotes from the article that I found fascinating, more so than this dude. This dude looks like... He doesn't seem real, right? He
looks like reminds me of
It's the
Black guy.
perfectly frosted hair and the glasses, and he's got that very nice suit.
he's actually a
I don't
puppet.
know. He seems like a plant. He seems like he's planted there, but I'm sure he's a very respected astrophysicist or something like that. Anyway, when you set yourself to proving or disproving the hypothesis that we live in a computer simulation, right? With me
Sure.
so far.
Okay.
There are basically two modes of attack. One, you can try to collect evidence on the subject, which is a difficult and time-consuming approach that tends to leave you without much in the way of funding or public recognition. One approach to this is to look for glitches, like a glitch in the Matrix, right? Things that have no place in any sensible physical universe. Another is to figure out some limitation of a simulation that ought not to exist in the real world and to see whether our universe exhibits that limitation.
Okay.
Can you think of any limitations that ought not to exist in the real world?
Flying.
Like how good pizza smells?
I hate
One of those. That'd be a good example right there.
all of you.
Anyway,
Should not
there's a second approach to that, but I didn't copy and paste that quote, so I'm going to
Juice cleanses should not exist.
Juice cleanses.
That
They're the
should
devil.
not exist at all.
All right. Here is Neil deGrasse Tyson's point.
Okay.
Okay? If we take it as read that it is, in principle, possible to simulate a universe in some way. Is it possible to simulate a universe in some way? Consider, by the way, I'm digressing here from what Neil deGrasse Tyson said. Consider...
You're digressing?
I'm digressing from DeGrasse's... The DeGrasse digression.
You're digressing?
Consider, for example, though, that we have certain things that are simulations of reality. Video games are a great example of this.
Yep.
MMOs are a great example of this. That reality can be simulated to some extent. Okay, take from that the simulation of a specific world or a limited area to the simulation of an entire universe. That's what he's saying. If we take it as read that in principle it's possible to simulate a universe in some way at some point in the future, then we have to assume that on an infinite timeline, some species somewhere will simulate the universe. And if the universe will be perfectly or near perfectly simulated at some point, then we have to examine the possibility that we live inside such a universe. And on a truly infinite timeline, we must expect that an almost infinite number of simulations have arisen from an almost infinite number of civilizations Or, indeed, a sophisticated enough simulation might be able to let its simulated denizens themselves run simulations. And at that point, all bets are officially off.
Wow.
Okay.
That's food for thought.
So,
DeGrasse, get off that weed.
this is Neil deGrasse Tyson's basic explanation or reasoning behind the possibility that we, right now, might be just living in a simulation.
Cue Twilight Zone music.
Okay, let's move on to sword fight.
All right, cool.
Because, believe it or not, the sword fight questions for this week are tied directly into what we've just been discussing. Good lord.
Nah.
Paste this in the chat.
Oh, is that a popsicle?
What? No? What are you talking about, popsicle?
Sword fight. The lower third.
The lower thirds of a sword fight, yes, is a popsicle and
See,
a
I've only
banana.
been eating bananas, but I would like the popsicle.
You can eat bananas?
I can eat bananas.
Okay, well
Blended.
that is good to know.
Liquid banana.
All right, I'm just pasting this straw poll link into chat so people can.
Thank you for the donation, Daniel. Breaking news: Fallout 4 Creation Kit mod support is live on PC. Good to know. And Jordan.
Yes.
Eat fucking pizza. I wish I could.
I'm
I can,
I'm
but
going to very soon.
I
I will enjoy
is
all
Kyle
that
drunk?
pizza.
No, he's just hungry.
Kyle is not drunk at all. All right, here's a straw poll for y'all. The universe, is it real or is it simulation? Kyle and I are going to argue this right now and decide once and for all if the universe is real or not. Here are our options. Why is that getting so big? Is it clicking on the wrong thing? All right. So we have real. Yes, it's real. Or no, it's a simulation.
I think it's real.
Kyle's going to go with real.
It's real. Real is the way to go.
Why is the universe real, Kyle? How can you prove it?
I can't.
Prove the universe is real.
I can't prove it, but when I smelt that pizza, I can tell you right now that was not a simulation. If I was playing a video game right now, and it was a video game about pizza, I don't know why there would be a video game about pizza, but if there were, and I was playing it,
There's lots of video games about pizza.
just pizza, like that's the whole thing.
There's games where you like make pizza and stuff like that.
I guess maybe there is. So a pizza simulator, right? That wouldn't make me hungry, but because it's not real. You know what I mean? But a real pizza is gonna make me real hungry, and that's how I can prove the universe is real. And I will take that to Neil deGrasse Tyson and just be like, bam! I'd take a real pizza to him and be like, smell it. Do you want to eat it? He'd be like, yes, I do. Because it's real. You wouldn't want to eat a simulated pizza.
All right.
Obviously.
Let me explain why you're wrong. The universe is just a simulation, Kyle. You and I are not real. What we're doing right now is not real. All the people watching us are also not real. They are simulated. I can't say whether they are simulations, as in people just dialing into the simulation, actually of their own accord with independent thought and free will, or if all the people watching us are just computer programs that are running. It's impossible to tell for sure. All I can tell you for sure is that we're definitely in a simulation. I can prove it to you.
So then it won't matter if I eat the pizza?
That's true. That's very true right now. In fact, it wouldn't even matter if you drank any of this beer right now. Because, as previously mentioned, this is all just a simulation. It's not real. All right, let me take you on a journey through time, Kyle.
Okay.
Go back to this past weekend. What did you spend a lot of time doing this past weekend, Kyle?
Not eating juice.
Okay, that was one of the things.
I spent a lot of time working.
What were you doing for your work?
Video games.
Not everyone would call that work. What were you playing with the video games?
Virtual
reality.
Yeah.
Using an HTC Vive.
Yeah.
Much like the one behind you back there. Thank you for leading to the side to help demonstrate what that is. Now, if we can, with our rudimentary technology, here, as the human race is only beginning to open its eyes and wake up and experience the digital storage of information, the ability to transfer information around the globe. And right now, you can put on a mask and suddenly be immersed in an environment that you think, as you said yourself in your video earlier today, which I watched a few parts of, that even just the movement of the whatever you're on was causing you to...
The hovercraft?
The hovercraft, yes, was causing you to misjudge where you were and as you were moving around. You're telling me that most basic technology that we, as barely having evolved past the state of being primates, has access to, and you're telling me that in another 15, 20, 50 years that you couldn't have a simulation that was immersive enough and in-depth enough and detailed enough to convince you that it was real? I rest my case. Okay.
If it was simulated pizza,
I
I still couldn't eat it.
So you're saying I can eat the pizza? Wait, I think I might be agreeing with you with what you have to say. All right, is the universe real or simulation? What we said does not matter, and the least what you guys said is what matters.
Okay.
Oh wait, I need to hit results.
Please be real.
Results.
It's real.
It is real.
Oh, even if it's simulation.
Hey, they kind of updated straw poll. Look how colorful it is now. Actually, most people said even if it was a simulation, wouldn't that still be real since it would still exist and be happening?
That's like the true
Even
physicist
virtual
answer.
reality is real.
Yep.
Because it's still real.
It's real virtual reality.
It's real virtual reality.
The real.
However, if you cut that out, you win, Kyle. You win.
Yay.
Apparently, my argument, as mind-boggling as it was too mind-boggling. Okay.
No pizza.
One more certified question here. This is from a PC World article. Intel has declared independence from the PC. We've talked about this a little bit. They've laid out a broader 5-point strategy. This is from, again, PC World. And the 5-point strategy seems to those reading it not to really talk about the PC all that much. They're talking about other concepts and ideas beyond the PC.
Right.
The 5 pillars that they're talking about building Intel on is the cloud, servers, data centers, and virtualization, connected things, sensors, autonomous vehicles, or PCs. So PCs listed in here as among the things that would be connected via connection. An evolving memory business, 3D crosspoints. So look, they barely mentioned PC as a subheading under connected things, and yet 3D crosspoint, their new baby,
has a whole bullet point to itself.
Gets all this own bullet point. 3D crosspoint is pretty badass. I'll be honest. But
PCs are badass.
3D crosspoint memory to advances in server data and server data center infrastructure, connectivity, specifically 5G networking and manufacturing, and the underlying fab technology. So Intel still really wants to be very much behind the technology that you use, but they want to shift their perspective or what they work on or their perception by the people who buy their products from being like, oh, Intel, they make the processors from computers,
right,
to, oh, Intel, they make
3D crosspoint
they
stuff.
They make the magic things
that
make all of this magic stuff happen.
All the connected things.
All the connected technology and things like that. So, from a business perspective, again, this makes a lot of sense for Intel, and
wait, scroll up a little.
What?
FPGA.
Yes.
You could spell GFAP with that.
You could spell GFAP with that.
Just pointing that out.
Good. Thank you, Kyle.
That's my favorite acronym.
Anyway, this is their cycle of growth, and as you can see, it's cyclical.
Connectivity.
And look, there's a processor that they don't care about anymore. All right, so here's the question that we are going to debate right now, which is, if you are a PC enthusiast, should this be a major concern for you? Should PC enthusiasts be worried about Intel's recent strategy shift? Oh, it's getting loud out there. And yeah, again, this is mainly addressing the concern that Intel is kind of taking the PC market, setting it to the side, and moving on with whatever they think is important, and abandoning all of us right?
Yep.
So, are you worried? No, I'm not worried. Yes, I am worried. PC's dead. Or the third option, which is...
You go first this time.
Okay. I'm gonna say the PC's dead. I'm gonna devil's advocate here. No more PC socketed processors are going by the wayside because let's be honest. Let's be honest here. Let's stop fucking around. Okay? Yeah, we're being honest.
Yeah.
Okay. Processors are getting smaller, and we are now, probably most of us, without even realizing it, spend more time using what is known as an SoC, or system on a chip, than we do an actual desktop computer or a socketed processor. Even comparing like a laptop, which might use a BGA embedded processor, with more of a traditional motherboard and more of the elements that you might be able to point at and identify with a actual desktop computer. Much more is the SoC, system on a chip. Everything's integrated. Why would we need to build a computer when we can buy a small device that will do everything that we need it to do all by itself? PC enthusiasts should be worried because the PC market is dying. It sucks anyway. Everyone hates it. Sorry, that was editorial. I added that in. But yeah, it's been something that's been foretold for quite some time, and it's just the advance of technology. It's the direction things are going. No one's going to be able to build their own computer anymore. We'll have these. It'll be like this. It'll look kind of like this.
That'll be everything.
This is just an Elgato capture device, but this will be your computer. You'll buy it, and then in a year you'll throw this away, and you'll get a new one.
That's like that much like that.
It's
big.
a little bit thinner and a little bit faster, and that's your computer. And everyone should just live with that from now on.
Pimp my PC would be really boring.
Yep.
Okay, I'll tell you why you're wrong. Worried? Of course not. I'm not worried because PCs aren't going anywhere. Things are looking good right now, despite the slight decline in the PC market recently. I think it's still, just because there's a slight decline right now doesn't mean it's doomed anytime soon. I think there has been a lot of business and market that's taken away from PCs, like the mobile market, mobile chips, SoCs, and things like that. However, there's still a lot of things that you can do with a PC that you can't do with an SoC. I mean, maybe later down the line, SoCs will be powerful enough to edit a 4K video, or even a 1080 video for that matter, with relative smoothness, or even do some like really crazy high-resolution gaming. Because, sorry, my phone. That was an Intel chime, just in time.
Fanboy. Obviously, Intel fanboy.
Not biased at all. Not biased. But where was I going with that? Yeah, like there's just too much shit that you can't do on a laptop or like a phone or a tablet. That you need a PC to do that, and it's going to be a long time. Because as SoCs are getting more powerful, granted they are, which is good, demands are also increasing for your workloads or for your games. So resolutions are going up. We saw this huge jump from 1080 to 1440. 1440 was just kind of hanging around, and we just kind of skipped to 4K. Imagine in a few years we're going to be at we're already seeing 8K TVs here and there, and it's just going to be 20K, 50K, 100K. And SoC, I don't know if an SoC can keep up with that. That's just one small example, but that's why you're wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I actually hope you're right here, Kyle.
I'm hungry.
I hope you're right.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if you're hungry, you don't get any food. Results!
Roll!
Nobody's
AMD.
worried.
Actually, AMD will save us.
I should stop adding this third option because it's usually what people vote for.
It still gives us an indication.
AMD will save us all.
Oh. I would have gone with that one,
but most
it was a cop-out.
people are not worried. All right, that's good. And there are only 14% of you who agree with me that the PC is dead.
You guys are
PC is dead.
You guys are so cynical.
That's all right. Okay, we are going to answer two questions.
Two questions
here for Q&A.
I have to run home and eat something or
They're
drink
going to be
something.
very important questions.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat the pizza. That's...
You-
I'm going to eat the
No,
pizza.
no, you have to eat the
I
pizza.
have to eat the pizza.
Because I can't.
We were gonna. My wife was gonna make tacos tonight, which actually would. What? And we're gonna. She just said we're gonna have pizza instead. It's good. It's good. All right.
After party. That's the first question.
What is the after? Are you
I'm allowed to game.
capable?
I'm allowed. I can game on the juice cleanse.
Okay.
It hasn't been like a, fun cleanse.
Okay. My suggestion for the after party was gonna be Rocket League, the new hoops.
Yeah.
Because that just launched
Oh, cool.
and it looked kind of interesting.
Yeah, I saw. At first, I was like, "How the hell are they going to do that?" And once I saw some screenshots, I was
It's
like,
like
"Oh,
it's
it's
got
like
a
a
little
ramp."
ramp, right? And you
Yeah.
push the ball up and then it
Because I was like,
goes
if
in
it's
the hoop.
just a hoop, like a standard basketball hoop, like I'm screwed. That's like for
Oh, yeah.
experts,
That'd be annoying as hell.
expert level.
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, that sounds good. So yes, and then one more question before I pass out.
Okay. I thought you had one.
No,
Do you like pizza, Kyle?
I was looking at that one. I didn't want to answer it.
Yes, Kyle loves pizza.
Yes, I love pizza.
Also, I am dead. Apparently, I am dead. Is it worth using a second GPU for physics? No, it's not. It's just from what
Just so
I-
we can say we threw a tech.
I mean,
question
if
in
you
there.
have one,
Oh.
then you can sure try it out and see what it does for you. But most of what I've seen, that doesn't do a whole lot for you. Will you visit China after Taiwan? Says beware.
Nah,
No, just Taiwan this year. I did China last year.
me too, or 2
Yeah.
years ago.
It's kind of fun. Yes, but all right. We've already gone kind of long for this half of the show, so we should probably cut it off.
Yes, we should.
All right. Thank you guys all for watching. This has been Awesome Hardware.
Johnson shoutouts.
Johnson shoutouts are coming right at you right now.
I have one.
Kyle's got one.
To Daniel.
Where's-
Daniel, back at it again. With the BIOS Flasher shirt. Thank you, Daniel.
Yay, Daniel.
From Long Beach. My man.
There you go.
We're neighbors. Thanks, man.
How come none of this works?
Oh.
Okay, good. Oh, wow. I have several. Stock depleted.
Oh! Someone got the last shirt.
Ste-
Or mug.
Steps to resolve your HBO Now restart renewal loop.
Wow.
See, this is the thing. They're
Now you're
emailing
getting it.
people about it. All right, stock depleted. Apparently, I have stock depleted for something. All right, Cordell, thank you so much. Picked up a thumbscrew shirt. Johnson to you, sir. Thank you, much appreciated. Also, Russell. Russell gets a Johnson shout out. He picked up a zero insertion for.
I think that was a double
shirt.
Johnson.
Russell.
I think he...
Russell double Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay, double Johnson for Russell. And Edward from Texas, also with a zero enforcement shirt.
They're going to say
Zero-
Ed from TechSource.
Zero enforcement shirt. I am really having a hard time.
Zero enforcement shirt.
Zero insertion force shirts. Thank you, Edward.
See, if I was drinking, I would have totally
Johnson
missed that.
to you. You're right. You would just be like, yeah, that's right, Paul. Keep talking.
It sounded good to me.
And HTC wants a feedback on their customer service experience.
Horrible.
It worked pretty
Just
well.
horrible.
I have the HTC Vive. The other thing I realized, I was supposed to do a live unboxing of my HTC Vive, which is behind us here. And I haven't done it, but it's too late now.
Yeah.
We'll do that later. We'll figure it out. What you gonna do? All right. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Bye, guys.
And have a fabulous...
Screw
rest
you,
of your
Josh.
week. Screw Josh, thanks for the pizza. It's gonna be delicious.
Screw you, too.
Oh, yeah. Diana says thank you as well. All right. Bye, guys.